Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Freedom Friday here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm always your host, the Early Ohio Patriot, and for today's episode, we're going to talk about U.S. voter rolls in 18 states being potentially under Chinese control now, or at least the Chinese have, gotten a hold of these voter rolls in Ohio and 17 other states in the past X amount of time now is what it is. And really, is it time for a new America, aka America 2.0 at this point? I think so. We're also going to talk about the Shiloh Hendricks verdict today, and basically the anti-whiteism of society these days is what it is. So, yeah, we're going to get into all of it, basically. So, in the past week or so, it's come out that China has at least copied 18 states' voter rolls, including here in Ohio. You have had them doing who knows what with these voter rolls. They could have infiltrated. They could have done a bunch of voter fraud in our elections. This information because I don't know how long they've actually had this. What it is there, or they could have basically done nothing with it. So either way, it's alarming to think that other countries have, either control of our voter rolls or at least have copies of our voter rolls at this point, because right there, you can scam Americans is what it is then. So I'm also pretty pissed off right now at Amazon/UPS, because instead of Amazon delivering my stuff today themselves, which they should have done because it was a freaking red dot for one of my handguns, they instead were like, "Hey, UPS, why don't you deliver this for us?" And UPS is like, "Okay, we'll give you 11:15 to 3:15 for our delivery window." And sure enough, 3:15 is come and gone now, almost 40 minutes ago now. And then they updated their shit now to say, "Oh, it'll be here by 9 p.m. tonight." And it's like, or you could have just got in the fucking window, dude. And that's what I don't understand about our society right now in 2026. Like, you have the technology in Amazon and stuff like that where they can GPS track their vehicles. Why the fuck isn't it the same way with UPS, FedEx, etc.? Like, why is it not something where I can look on a site and have it be like, "Oh, it's 8 stops away, it's 6 stops away, it's 5 stops away. Oh, I'm the next stop now." Like, it's fucking ridiculous what it is, dude. And it really bothers the hell out of me, honestly. So, yeah, I know. They fucked us over on Delta 9 and stuff like that a while ago. That was all that piece of shit Rhino DeWine and the fucking retard GOP, who, in a lot of cases, I hope loses their fucking shirts this coming go around now, is what it is. That being said, I don't want to see Democrats take over the state, because if they take over the state, they're going to go fully anti-gun, is what it is. They've already admitted that shit many, many times in a row. They should all be in prison for is what it is there. So, but yeah, actually, other topics we're going to talk about today while we're on the subject here is all the weird recalls of food recently. Specifically, the most recent one being 1.6. How many was this? 1.6 million or 1.6 billion? Yeah, 1.6 million eggs recalled by Midwest Poultry Services LP as of 2 days ago. It says 1.6 million dozen white and brown cage-free eggs from Texas due to potential salmonella contamination, according to the FDA. As of July 22nd, Midwest Poultry Services was not aware of any illnesses related to the eggs. And I've had talks to people about this kind of stuff before, and they were like, "Oh, it's just them taking, food off the market, basically, is what it is there." And I think in some cases it could be, honestly, just because, like, especially when to me, it's like so interesting because you start looking at it and stuff like that, and you realize, like, okay, we had this thing, that thing, and the other thing. And now all of a sudden you have like ICE deporting people, or you have like these various like third worlders from like Haiti or Somalia or whatever the case be now in control of these food processing plants, or H1B visa holders from like India and stuff like that. And now all of a sudden, you have all these outbreaks in the past, like 6 months or a year or so is what it is now. Like, it just seems very suspicious to me. Very suspicious timing. Oh, I also do want to, since this has been pointed out in the comment section here, but the new billboard in Lima, Ohio. Yeah, I'd like to point out that I was actually the one who paid for that. About being straight. Nah, I'm just kidding around. I don't know who actually did it, but I will take credit for it, though, obviously. So, I'm not sure. I think it was just some random group or something like that. Because it was basically a billboard about, I think it's more or less traditional marriage and, like, being, like, anti same-sex relationships and stuff like that, which, I mean, you look at it logistically, there was a, I think it was a video I was watching like a year or so ago of this woman. I can't remember if I did it on the grandstand or if I did it on a Freedom Friday or not, but it was basically this chick who was talking about how she, I believe, was part of the church in her childhood and then ended up like leaving the church in her adulthood because she went to college and like basically got college indoctrinated by the left is what it is there. Went gay for a while and started sleeping with other women and stuff like that. And then she basically had like an epiphany. I think it was at a church function or something that her family took her to. And it was basically she saw two, like it was almost like she went to like the heaven hell thing with like the angel devil on the shoulder kind of thing is what it is there. Except in this case, it was more or less like everything kind of turned red is what it was. And you had the one side where it was her continuing to be, a lesbian or whatever the case be, and be with whatever woman she was with at the time is what it was there. And it was basically just them, and there was nothing underneath them. It was all like darkness, basically. But then she saw the other side where it was her with a dude, and then it was kids, grandkids, great grandkids, great great grandkids, etc. Like all these timelines of humanity that would be existing if she was with a dude, is what it was. And then she basically woke up to the whole fact of like the indoctrination of the whole gay/trans agenda that they're pushing on all these people now is what it is. And finally realized that she, in fact, was straight and then ended up being with a dude later on and had some kids and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff, man. But, I mean, and I think that's a sad part of our society right now is what it is you have, whether it be that Randy Warburton woman, or however you pronounce her name, Weingarten, I think is what it is, maybe. Whoever that stupid bitch is, like the head of the one teachers union is what it is there. She is the one basically pushing a lot of this commie bullshit. There's other commie bullshit being pushed by a lot of these teachers unions in our society right now. And that's what I've said for at least like the past like 7 to 10 years now, that we should be getting rid of teachers unions completely in this country, honestly, because they were the worst possible thing ever when it comes to indoctrinating kids now is what it is, because their entire agenda is not to have teachers actually teach, reading, writing, arithmetic and stuff like that anymore. It's to have them basically create a bunch of social justice warriors, a bunch of little activists and stuff like that in these schools that they can use as cannon fodder later on is what it is. So, and that's exactly why we're seeing like reading proficiency decline. That's exactly why we're seeing writing proficiency decline. That's exactly why we're seeing kids that can't do basic math anymore. And it's just like the illiteracy rate of these kids that are going into high school or even possibly graduating high school is just astounding, honestly. Like we only have like a 20% or so literacy rate in a lot of these schools. Like that is ridiculous, dude. And I think that's the biggest problem right now in our society is they are purposefully, these powers that should not be, these commie indoctrinators, whatever you want to call them at that point, these rules for radicals, agenda motherfuckers are pushing that shit, and they keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And then on top of all that, then you have stuff like the Haitians that came in here to Ohio, where they refuse to learn English. You have all these illegals or children of illegals that don't speak English either, so they're speaking Spanish, whatever the case be. So you have these teachers that are in these schools now who are trying to give the same lesson in 2 different languages instead of just being like, okay, who speaks English, raise your hand. Everybody else get the fuck out. That's what needs to be at that point, honestly, dude. And then they just teach the kids and they actually learn something. That's what it is, not being something where it's like, oh, you got to 40-minute class, and you only get like 20 minutes of actual education in there because you have some teacher that has to take the other 20 minutes and teach these dumbass kids in different languages than instead of them fucking learning English that we should have learned a long ass time ago. So, yeah, I think that's definitely part of what's leading to the illiteracy in our societies with this right now. So, but anyway, I was actually trying to last night. I got my new Mossberg MC2 SC. No, I actually got a new gun the other day. I decided to finally pull the trigger, if you will, on the one Mossberg handgun. It's actually pretty nice. The only drawback I have with it right now is that the slide stop on it, I think, is a little bit too small because it's more or less like a little like basically that big, pretty much like a little diamond shape essentially, or I guess like a little triangle shape would be there. Whereas I'm so used to having that like like square bar on the Taurus handguns and stuff like that. I've gotten so used to that larger one pushing out what it is there that this little teeny one on the Mossberg is like hard to pop and not like get your finger like caught in like the slide basically. So, and I think I need to take that down anyway one of these days because I realized I think it was sitting up at the shop there for like a while, and when I say a while, I mean probably like a year or more. So you end up having, most likely, it just needs to get oiled and stuff like that, so its springs aren't as like springy, I guess, so to be, or they can be more oiled up and stuff like that to be easier to rack the slide and stuff like that. Basically, is what it is there. But then also, I realized too, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to use like a different tool for it or not, because I was trying to use my little multi screwdriver pen here is what it is last night to do the red dot cut on there and do the screws off. The one on the right came off very easily. The one on the left, it just won't even come at all. I was like using this and I was like cranking it and cranking it and cranking it, and I almost felt like I was about to break the pen in my hand, honestly. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna fuck with this right now. So I don't know if I just wasn't twisting the right way or if it's just it got like Loctite on there or like super glued on there maybe or something, which shouldn't really. Loctite is a variation of super glue is what it is. So I don't think it's put like too much Loctite on there. It just got like basically super glued into place or not. But nothing else. I'm gonna have, if my cousin comes over later, I'll have him try it and see if he can't like pop the damn thing. Because I really want to try this new little micro dot I got from CB Life on there. Because it's that RMSC. It's actually pretty nice. Comes with 2 extra batteries, and then you got the little dot itself here. The only thing I don't like about these is that there's no way to like get them out of there properly. Like you basically have to like push them out, or like do like something like that where it like basically falls it on you. Like it needs to be a better way to like pull these off of the thing is what it is. But yeah, just a little red dot. See if I can turn this on real quick. Yeah, it's a decent little dot in there. See if it'll ship up. There we go. Yeah, it's a decent little dot in there. So, but yeah, this is supposed to fit. I believe it's the Hollow Sun optic cuts and stuff like that. So, hope it'll fit on there. I'm not sure, but I'll find out later whenever I can get that properly popped off, and that's what it is, and go from there basically. And the one I got coming in right now is supposed to be delivered by UPS at some point here today. Is an RMR, which is going to be. I'm going to see if it'll fit on my Taurus or not, because if it does, I'll probably switch that out from the Solski that's on there right now. But if it doesn't, it's whatever. I'll just have an extra dot is what it is then. So I'm trying to get this shoved back in here now. But yeah, I didn't understand like why that other screw would not come off there. So I don't know if it's just like something with the screw just being messed up or something, or what it is. Like I said, I think really honestly it's probably something where the screw itself is not in place the way it needs to be, and probably has been sitting for so long, it's just like basically super glued and just needs to be like broken away. Basically, that's what it is there, and hopefully it won't be too much of an issue and won't like strip the screw or something when I try to do it later. Is what it is then, or have somebody with better strength do it for me, like my cousin again. But either way, that is what it is. So. Yeah, I saw that one the other day too. With the migrants drowning. Yeah. There was a photo from AP there where they're pretty sure the guy that caught the photo, he was like the last photo of them before they died. Because it was some boater guy who was like, yeah, these people were literally over here, like waiting. As my understanding, it was like waist deep into like pretty fast water on the river. There is what it is, and it's like, I swear to God, man, like these people have like no sense of survival, is what it is. Like no sense of like self awareness. So, I mean, the thing is, you shouldn't have to warn people about that, is what it is. Like, they should have fucking common sense to be like, hey, maybe we don't go into like chest deep fucking water and go fishing and then think we're not going to get swept away in like big ass rip tides and currents and shit. So it's like the same thing with people that go out there and they'll go swimming in the ocean and stuff like that and then be like, oh, I didn't understand like rip tides and stuff exist. And it's like, bro, like, are you fucking 5? Like, seriously, like, it's not that hard, bro. It's literally, it really is. It's like zero common sense, honestly. It's like really 0 sense at all for that matter. So, yeah, it's just ridiculous is what it is. And it's like, I kind of feel sorry for the people that died, obviously. But at the same time, it's like, it really is just Darwinism taking over at that point. It's Mother Nature being like, oh, you want to fuck around and find out? Okay, you fucked around and found out, basically, what it is. So it's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's just like, again, they could have been smarter, you know? Yeah, Nolan Wells is a great example of that one, which, by the way, that kid, apparently they've supposedly done like an independent autopsy on him now, and they claim they didn't find like any cause of death or whatever the case being. It's like, well, if he's been dead for like a couple of weeks and stuff, I'm pretty sure his body would have like expelled those chemicals and stuff in it now. So yeah, just seems kind of silly, honestly, on that one. But I don't know. I still think that kid just died of natural causes. Honestly, I think he was just drunk, and he decided to go and try to swim back to shore, and just didn't make it, basically. So, which it's sad, and what's even sadder is that you had the people that were his friends now being accused of killing him, which they didn't, obviously. And you had his parents who basically were like, oh, we can make a bunch of money off of this now. Let's go ahead and play the fucking race card bullshit. And yet, meanwhile, you have idiots like Ben Crump, who is the most illiterate motherfucker ever. Which, how the hell? I don't understand how the fuck this guy even has a lawyer license at this point, honestly, dude. How he even passed the bar for that matter. When he literally can't even speak. Like, there's a video that's been circulating all day of dumbass Ben Crump, race hustler, and known black supremacist piece of shit, basically. Who should have been disbarred after the whole George Zimmerman trial, by the way, back in 2012, 2013. Because it came out after that then. And he actually told multiple witnesses to lie under oath. And so you now have a him basically getting away with that and then keep going and stuff is what it is. Actually, speaking of, I swear to God, the AI is like, every time I mention something, like as soon as I go to the sites, and it'll be like, oh, here's the thing about that person. Because mention Nolan Wells, first thing pops up here. Psychic on TikTok has contacted Nolan Wells. Midway through, he apparently enters her body and starts speaking through her. No need for further investigation. TikTok knows she's right. Jesus fucking Christ, people are stupid. Let's see, Columbus Dispatch. Amy Acton is an alcoholic. Vivek is just a desperate and dirty liar. No, Acton is a fucking nut job who is in fact an alcoholic. She is actually a fucking super wino. She's also a drug addict. And Vivek himself is just like Acton, a fucking mass murderer. Neither one of these people should be in this race for governor right now, dude. Acton literally killed a bunch of unborn kids by allowing abortion clinics to stay open during lockdowns. Vivek literally pushed the COVID death shots that took my mother's life and other people's lives. So he could profit off that shit. They should both be in federal prison right now waiting the death penalty for crimes against humanity. The fact that either one of these assholes allowed in this governor's race is fucking ridiculous, let alone both of them. And this is exactly why, come 2027, I'm going to be ready to just abolish the fucking state government is what it is then. Because I'm sick and tired of this shit, dude. I'm sick and tired of us being fucked over constantly. I'm sick and tired of Americans getting the fucking shaft because dumbass, retarded, fucking criminal ass people that have made billions, like Vivek's ass has. Actually, one thing I was on Honest Chat the other day, and there was the other guy that popped in here, supposedly from Ohio too. He didn't even know about Vivek's past about the securities fraud stuff, which I've talked about many times on this channel, which those don't know. I think it was the remdesivir drug, I believe is what it is, that Vivek was pushing back in the day with his mother, where they claimed it like cured Alzheimer's or something like that. And they basically did a bunch of criminal shit there is what it was, securities fraud stuff. Basically had a bunch of people buy in. They sold out, that is what it was, and made a bunch of money off of it, and then skipped out on the fucking whole thing is what it is. And then it came out obviously after the fact that it was just a piece of shit, basically placebo, essentially. So anyway, yeah, it's a bunch of shit, dude. And it disgusts me to no end because we just did investigations into the state of Ohio right now for corruption and bribery scandals and stuff like that, and like just criminal behavior that should be arrested out of office for is what it is. You would probably have at least like, I would say minimum half the Ohio GOP right now would be sitting in state or federal prison right now for taking bribes to endorse Vivek's ass. So anyway, let's see what else we got here now. We got white girl with nose ring told the internet that if a race war kicks off, her own people get wiped. She ends it with stop living in fantasy land. She's not anti-race war. She's just saying don't start one you can't finish. Yeah, I've seen this girl say some dumbass retarded shit in the past too, by the way, and she just comes off as a fucking retard, dude. She just comes off as a fucking coal burner, honestly. What she doesn't understand, or what she fails to understand, is that leftists like her are not going to be part of that whole thing, dude. They're going to be, if anything, they're going to be the ones that get wiped out by a bunch of black supremacist types and stuff like that pretty early on. And then it would be people like me that have, you know, a shitload of fucking guns and a bunch of people, so it is then, including myself. We would be the ones surviving. That's what it is. I mean, hell, there was that JB Gunner dude did I believe it was about 3 or 4 years ago now, maybe 5 years ago now. He did a great deep dive on this whole subject, if it was like black versus white and stuff like that, and he basically broke it down of how few people in the black community would actually be available to even be part of that thing, versus you would have, it's like, I think it was something like either 4-1 or 5-1 white to black when it came to numbers. Like you basically have blacks outnumbered like 4 or 5-1 by whites in such a thing, and it would just be like a whole thing where it'd be like, yeah, you got all these dumbass retarded motherfuckers incarcerated and stuff like that. I also want to point out the fact that when you look at the low IQ and just the zero common sense people these days, this is why you're seeing people converting to Islam inside of prisons, and it's a bunch of black youth and stuff like that, because they're not smart enough to understand that, yes, this is the fucking demonology, dude, is what it is. That is literally the death cult that will bring about the Antichrist. And I do truly believe that, by the way. I do believe Islam will eventually rise the Antichrist if we let them. And that's why they need to be shut the fuck down right now, is what it is. We need to have a final crusade in this nation, every other nation across this world right now. Because truth be told, Islam should have been wiped out 7 fucking centuries ago, is what it is. During the original crusades of the 12th, 13th centuries, what it was back then. So I also wanted to mention this too, by the way. I didn't think about that earlier today. For those that haven't been paying attention, there's some crazy shit going on in Madison, Wisconsin now, where this dumbass YN pulled a knife on cops. The cops rightfully shot him in self-defense. And now you got a bunch of retarded black supremacist types going out there and protesting. And like this dumbass bitch said here, if my son ever resists arrest and stabs a police officer, I want to ensure that he gets in additional stabs before officers stop the threat. She is visibly proud of her stance on the issue. My God, these people are fucking. Oh my God, there is no helping some of these people, man. For real. Like, and what's crazy to think is this retarded bitch right here has the same voting rights as myself or anybody watching this stream right now. So it's just craziness, dude. Like this is exactly why we need to have both IQ tests and constitutional based tests for voting rights in this country. And if you can't pass both, I should say if you can't pass obviously constitutional tests, but if you actually have like a real low IQ, like basically retard levels is what it is, you just don't get voting rights is what it is, bro. It's that simple. I will I'm gonna share this link here because I'm not sure exactly when it comes to YouTube stuff how they would the channel if I played it here. So I'll just do a repost and you guys can find it on our X account. Here's what it is. This is what this person says. A new angle just dropped Madison, Wisconsin police shooting. This is one of the clearest videos yet on the July 22nd incident. The moment an officer shot the suspect could end up being key evidence in determining whether the use of deadly force is justified. Watch and decide for yourself. I believe it was. I saw a little bit of it earlier today. I think it was, honestly, dude. But what's even crazier is it was, I believe, last night is what happened. You had this other black supremacist type who interrupted the Madison, Wisconsin police chief during his I forget what those are called, like press conference thing, I think it would be maybe, to the point where the dude, the cop literally just walked off, and this dude walked up and basically took over the podium to yell and bitch and moan about some stuff is what it is with this kid that got killed. And it's like, why are you not arresting these motherfuckers for literally interrupting official business, dude? Like, this is what I don't understand. Like, the amount of retarded ass black privilege in our society is way the fuck out of hand. Where these motherfuckers can do whatever the fuck they want and then just get away with it. It's even going back to Shiloh Hendricks for a minute there. You had her get charged with 2 misdemeanors. Get trial for 2 misdemeanors. She got charged with 1 for basically calling this dude the N-word, who was a literal Somali pedophile who raped a 16-year-old girl who shouldn't even be in this country for that matter. And yet she was put on trial for some bullshit. Then on top of that, you now have her lawyer coming out. Let's see if I can find the videos here. Yeah, so you got Shiloh's lawyer in one of the ones that we shared earlier today, which is, he said he is vows to appeal on multiple grounds, says judge actively tried to prevent him from making records. Appellate courts generally will not review decisions where no records were made. And then you also had the same one. Okay, no, that was a different one. Never mind. Yeah, there should be another one here. Sorry, I shoot a bunch of stuff. This is dumbass Ben Crump being illiterate as fuck, by the way. Dude can barely read. Like, it's just so fucking retarded, but it is, dude. Where's that one now? Oh yeah, you had FPC Second Amendment Foundation and the NRA now moving to ban Maryland or block Maryland Glock ban before it takes effect here pretty soon, as they should. So I was trying to find that one. There should be one here pretty quick. Was it that one? No, it wasn't that one. Oh, here it is. Yeah, the defense lawyer for Shiloh Hendricks shares just some of the thoughts on the case, and it was basically just him going on like an 8-minute rant about like how fucked up it was. And this is what I understand is like how this was even a court case to begin with. Like it's so insane. It's so insane. And then not only that, as the lawyer brought up the fact, it's like, yeah, it was like 10:30 last night that they had these jurors in there until when they should have been dismissed at like 4 or 5 o'clock that afternoon. So yeah, it's just craziness, dude. Like it really fucking is. And I think our society's just going to shit right now is what it is. Yeah, my thing is still not being delivered yet. What the fuck, man? It might be delivered by now. Yep, so this is after delivery. So, but yeah, and that's the thing. And that's just it. It's a 4-day trial for a fucking misdemeanor. And the thing is, she shouldn't even be charged with anything for that matter, dude, because it's literal freedom of speech. Like, her calling that dude names was literally freedom of speech in the first place. Why the hell was a convicted fucking child molester even in a children's park to begin with, for that matter? Which is what that Omar guy was. He raped a 16-year-old girl. Some piece of shit Minnesota judge let it roll for 3 years until his girl aged out of the foster care system and moved out of Minnesota, and then just dismissed the entire court case. This dude should be in a fucking prison cell, this Omar guy, for literal child rape. So, like, you shouldn't have even been there to begin with to be filming Shiloh or her kid or anybody else for that matter. And that was another thing. Like, that was the entire reason they dropped the that charge against for her supposedly calling the kid the N-word is what it was then, because the kid, there was no video evidence of that. All there was evidence of was him basically taking shit out of her child's bag is what it was then. That he had no right to be in to begin with, so it is there. And then his parents weren't even there. Apparently it was the Somali pedophile guy that was the one watching over this kid. And it's like, again, why the fuck do you have a pedophile watching over your child, bro? Like, why the fuck is Somalia? Why the fuck are any Somalians in America in 2026? That's what it is. Or even in that case, I guess it was 2025 at the time. But yeah, either way. So, I don't know. If I was Shiloh's lawyer, I would definitely be on the warpath at this point. Not only would I be appealing this stuff, I would also be going down in history for suing the state of Minnesota into bankruptcy at this point, honestly, because this needs to happen right now. There needs to be at least a $1 trillion lawsuit against the state of Minnesota for civil rights violations. So, not to mention freedom of speech violations. And it's time for Tim Walz and Peggy Flanagan and all these fucking scumbag sellouts to America to pay the fuck up. So, anyway. But, I think that's going to be about it for today, honestly. I'm pretty tired, and I don't really feel like talking too much anymore. Wasn't feeling the greatest day. Actually, I was supposed to go to my chiropractor and then end up not going to that because my back was hurting too much this morning. For those that don't know, I actually got a sheet up over my main window here now. So if I turn off the light in here, it gets really dark. So, like, it's basically like vampire dark, essentially, with the lights off. But it's been nice, though, because my neighbor lady in the next building over, she keeps flipping her light on every night because of the serial product that keeps going around now is what it is. And it was eliminating my blinds like crazy for the last few weeks now, that it was. Until the other day when my cousin came around, he was able to take some screws in the sheet and basically screw the sheet down onto some. There's like a board thing up there on the window where the blinds are at. He was able to screw it into, and so yeah, it's basically just hanging off of the screws now. Is what it is. It's pretty nice actually, and it blocks out quite a bit of sunlight, so I can actually sleep out here in the morning, which is nice because usually I was in a situation where if I fell asleep out here at like 2 or 3 in the morning, it would end up being a situation where I'd be awake by like 5:30, 6 o'clock because the fucking sunlight would be peeping in on me. That's what it is then. Whereas now, because of the gray sheet that's acting as a basically blackout curtain, it doesn't do that no more. So it's really nice on that one. But yeah, hopefully these freaking UPS guys get here pretty damn soon as what it is done. See, it's 4:26 right now. Nope, still after delivery is what they're claiming now. I just hope it gets delivered to the right address, honestly, at this point, because I had an Amazon package the other day that was supposed to be Amazon affiliate or whatever for them. Delivered it. They delivered it to the neighbor guy on the first building instead of this building I live in. So I had to run over there and grab it then. It sucked because there was, I think some new people moved into the back part of the building there, and they were out on their side lawn like a bunch of porch, you know what, basically is what it is. I guess it'd be the white equivalent of that, whatever it be then. So it'd be like lawn chair Americans or something. I'm not sure what it would actually be. But yeah, it was just weird because they like looked at me like I was doing something wrong, and it's like, nope, I'm just grabbing the package that was misdelivered to the wrong address because these fucking lazy ass delivery guys just see, oh, it's this apartment number and don't even think like, oh, let me check the stuff. Because if they had checked the stuff, honestly, if they were actually an Amazon person or whatever the case be, they should have the information there that specifically says it's like, hey, the address is on the bottom of the fucking screen door. When there's no address on the screen door, maybe it's the wrong fucking address, you idiot. Don't leave it here. So, but thankfully I was able to use the screenshot and be like, hey, pretty sure I know where that is, and then go over and grab it. And that's about I think that was like the 6th or 7th package in the last like year or so that I've been living here that's been misdelivered to the wrong address, because there's been at least 2 or 3 delivered to that guy over the times. There was, I know, at least 2 that were delivered to the people that used to live in my apartment here that live on the next building over. There was at least 2 delivered to them by accident. There was 1 delivered to that piece of shit Don who used to live here behind me before he got evicted. And thankfully he was finally evicted because there's still other people shit too, for that matter. So that's at least 6. And I feel like there's at least a 7th one. I'm not sure where that. Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was delivered to my neighbor kid, Mickey. Or no, sorry, there's actually 2. Wait, was there 2 or 3 actually delivered to his place by mistake? Yeah, there's actually at least 2 then. So there might have been 3 actually even. So it was more like 9 or 10 actually now, which, you know, given the fact that I've had like a couple hundred packages delivered in the past year or so here, like that's a pretty big percent actually. Now I'm thinking about it, dude. Like if it was like 100 packages, it would be like 10% if that'd be the case. Then they would deliver to the wrong places. Then, I mean, they were still delivered to the complex itself, but like the wrong units, basically, is what it is there. Because people aren't paying attention to what it is. So, anyway, but yeah, hopefully this gets here pretty dang soon. I'm hoping by 5:15 anyway that it'll be delivered by, but who knows? It's already 4:30 right now. I know if it was the mailman delivering it, it'd probably be already at my door at this point, honestly, or either that or be in the mailbox, maybe. Because they usually come around 4 or 5. So depending, sometimes it's like 2:30, 3 o'clock. Just depends on the day is what it is then. But yeah, I did pick up some interesting stuff recently. Got some Pro Mags for the MC2SC. I'll tell you what, these things are a bitch to load, man. If you've never loaded a 20-round mag with just a mag loader, it will leave an indent on your hand if you're loading it in a certain way, because right there is where my palms all messed up from yesterday when I was loading those damn things. I think it's the springs on them are so stiff. I maybe should have popped them apart and done a little bit of like spring stuff and then like shoved them back in there and see if it like was less springy or whatever then. Because yeah, it definitely messed my hand up and it was just so hard to like load them in there is what it is. I know at least one of those only has 19 in there because I was the only able to get 19 in there. Because it was such a stiff spring, it wouldn't allow me to like shove the mag loader down far enough to pop that last round in then. But yeah, those do look pretty interesting when they're hanging out of the little Mossberg then, because it leaves like a big ass gap. It's probably about yay big or so. So, like I would say, honestly, it's probably about that much is exposed. Which I wish I had a 3D printer because I would just 3D print some what do you call them now? Some like sleeve things for them. But unfortunately, I don't have that. And I don't have the files either to do that. So that's what it is right now. But yeah, we need to get justice for Shiloh and every other person that's being fucked over by the system just for being white, basically, and being railroaded by some bullshit justice. Some fucking social justice garbage that it is there. So, same thing with any Asian person that gets fucked over too, for that matter. But anyway, till later. I will see you guys on the next one. I might be doing some stuff tomorrow with my cousin, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do a Slicey Boy Saturday or not. I need to do one though one of these days. I also need to do. I'm gonna do a stream at some point in the near future as well, because I finally got a bunch of medical supplies in. I'm trying to make a med kit now, is what it is. So I'm gonna try to do like a med kit kind of deal, is what it is there. Maybe do like a double med kit if that be the case, where it's like 2 smaller like IFAC bags is what it would be then, with different medical supplies in them that I'd be taking with me then, is what it is. So I'm also still trying to figure out what the hell happened to my third trigger for my the guns I was trying to build out now, because I know I got 3 James Madison tactical triggers and I gave my cousin at least 2 of them, and I can't seem to figure out what the fuck happened to that third one now. I thought it was over here, but I was looking through stuff. I can't find it over here at all. And then I was looking in my bedroom and a bunch of different bins and stuff like that. I haven't found it there either. So I don't know if I just gave it to him already and he just doesn't realize it, or if I just set it someplace here and don't even realize where it's sitting, if that's the case. So I need to find it if that be the case then, because I definitely want to get that third trigger in these builds. That's what it is. Because it's one thing to have like 2 builds with the cassette triggers in them. It's a whole different thing to have 3 builds with the cassette triggers in them and not have shitty mil spec, is what it is then. Because I'm not trying to say like it's like the mil spec is like shitty or whatever the case be, because it just depends obviously what kind of mil spec trigger is being put into a lower, is what it is there. But like at the end of the day, it's basically the ones that Delta Team sells. They could be better, is what I'll say on that one. Like I think they're more or less like a 6. I think it's like a 6 or 7 pound trigger pull on it usually. Whereas with the JMTs, they're supposed to be like a 3.5 to 4 pound trigger pull, is what it is. And I think people have done it before where they figured out it's around like maybe 4.5 at max on it then. So it's somewhere between like 3.5 and 4.5, which is not bad. That's still 2 pounds lighter than it would be normally then. And then for me, with my arthritis, stuff like that, it'd be a lot better to be able to shoot. That's what it is then. Plus, I wouldn't mind having one of those be a go-to AR pistol that I could just throw the 22 conversion kit in, is what it is then, and just use as like a little like mini, 22 to fuck around with all day long, is what it'd be then, at a range or something then. So, but anyway, that's about it for this afternoon though. I will be back, like I said, hopefully tomorrow. If not, maybe Sunday with the Slicey Boy episode. I need to do a bunch of them anyway. At this point, I got a bunch of different things I want to talk about and stuff like that, and do a bunch of comparisons and stuff. There is right now I have a OTF knife that was a GTKI that was just on sale now for, I think it was around $20 or so. It's pretty nice. It looks like a double dagger. So I'm really hoping to get that in pretty soon and do a review on that in the near future as well as well. So anyway, but yeah, I think we're gonna leave off with a little short video here, just to show the bullshit in our justice system right now when it comes to arrest records and them falsely claiming that white people are like the biggest threat and stuff like that and the biggest arrest and whatnot, where in reality it's a bunch of people who are not white being labeled as white. In this case, it was the Georgia, state of Georgia, where you got young black kid being labeled as white on the GR records. You got looking like either Middle Eastern or Latino guy being labeled as white. Another Latino looking guy labeled as white. Yeah, it's a bunch of shit, dude, honestly. But yeah, it's just a way for them to fuck us all over. It is what it is, and I'm sick and tired of it. And it's why I have decided in 2028 I'm going to run for office then as a state rep here in Ohio. And literally the top of my platform will be for Ohio to become the first state that completely redoes our records keeping when it comes to prisons and stuff like that, and make sure that the people that are labeled as whatever race here, there, or the other thing is the actual race that they are, whether it be if they're black, they're going to be labeled as black, whether it be if they're actually white, they will be labeled as white. If they're Hispanic, they'll be labeled as Hispanic is what it is then. So anyway, yeah, it's a bunch of shit all the way around, man. But I will reiterate one thing though before I leave today, which is something that I talked about, I think it was yesterday in the grandstand I did, which was I got a call on Wednesday night from the Stark County Sheriff's Office telling me that, hey, that stolen rifle you had taken from your mom's place 5 years ago has finally been recovered down in Guernsey County. And then I was talking to the dude who was a sheriff's deputy who I don't know if he was considered to be like a liaison or exactly what it was. Maybe it was like something where it was like stolen property recovery or something is what his actual, I forget, it was like a big weird title. I can't remember the actual name of it was, but basically I think it has to do with like property recovery or whatever, and like informing people like, hey, like you're all good to go or whatever kind of thing. Like that's what it is. So basically I talked to him for about 5 to 10 minutes, what it was the other day. Yesterday's what it was then. And then he basically informed me that my name is now on the property record for that gun. So at some point, whenever they give me a call, I don't know if it's going to be a situation where I got to go down to Guernsey County and get it, because that's long ass trip from here, by the way. That's like it's at least a 3-hour round trip to go down there and come back up then. Because it's like an hour and a half or so one way. And it's more or less down by Columbus then. So, but yeah, it sounds like I'm going to go down there and grab it. That's what it is. But I'm kind of hoping that they'll be cool and just like ship it up to the Stark County Sheriff's Office, what it is then, and just be like, hey, you can actually pick it up here, then is what it is. That's what they should do anyway, just because it's like it was stolen in Stark County. Like, I don't know why the fuck you wouldn't send it to the Stark County Sheriff's Office, what it is then, for pickup. But yeah, this guy was giving me names of people and stuff like that. I had no idea who they were. And they apparently, it was a guy and a gal who were in possession of it at the time. And it sounds like from what talking to this guy, that there was about anywhere from like 5 to a couple dozen other guns found with him then as well. So I'm kind of wondering if it wasn't a situation where it was either a trap house of some kind or like a drug den or something, if that be the case. And they were just basically either manufacturing in that place and then got busted and they found all the stuff there, whatever it was. Or if it was something where they were just receiving stolen property or something like that, maybe, and they just finally caught them as it wasn't on like some random sting or something. But either way, I would think these people are going to go down for a long ass time. That's what it is, because even just having a couple stolen firearms, dude, you're talking about a federal prison at that point, because it would be ATF related stuff stepping in. Then is what it is. So, but yeah, I'm just happy. I'm just happy to know that I'm going to get my stuff back here, and hopefully next week or two is what it is. Then I don't know exactly how long it'll be. I'm hoping it'll be about a week or so, but my sister was like, "Oh, it could be a month or so." So who knows? But I'm hoping sometime here in early August I'll be able to get it back then by. So I just hope it's still in the same configuration it was when it was stolen, because if it's not, I'm gonna be pretty pissed about that one, just because I had outfitted that thing properly and done a bunch of stuff to it, done a bunch of upgrades to it, had a nice red dot on there and everything. And I'm assuming that they probably yanked the dot off at this point and sold that for some amount of money or whatever the case be. And so my assumption is I'll basically be getting back like a bare bones rifle is what it is, probably no mag too for that matter. Or maybe with a mag, I'm not sure honestly, but I have other mags obviously, so it doesn't really matter. But at the same time, it's like it had iron sights, it had a riser, it had the dot. Obviously, it had a fully loaded magnet was stolen, had a sling on it, a couple attachment point things too as well for that matter. So I'm not sure those will be on there or not. But yeah, it was like a whole setup, and it was with the upgrades I did to it. It was like a couple $100 more than it was worth when I originally bought it. So if I don't get back the whole thing, I'll definitely mention something to them about that if that'd be the case then. So I mean, I think it'd be kind of hard to trace down like an actual red dot at this point, just because they don't have like, a serial number on that or whatever the case be. But it might just be something I got to take that loss as what it is, which is semantics, honestly, if that's what it comes down to being. Hopefully that's not what it comes down to being, though. But again, who knows? And who knows if these are the people that actually stole it, or if it was them buying it off of somebody else that had stolen it then. Or it could even been like a middleman kind of situation where it was the guys that originally stole it, immediately pawned it off to somebody else, and then that person kept it for a little while, and then pawned it off to these people for a couple of years, whatever. Then, so, but anyway, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with it there. And like I said, I'll be giving an update if I can get information from Guernsey County about what exactly happened there, or if there's like some kind of news story or article where it comes out about like a drug bust or drug raid or whatever the case be, then that covered a bunch of stolen firearms. Then I know that's probably where my stuff came from. That's what it is. So if I can get some information, I'll definitely be doing something there to figure out what's going on there. If nothing else, be like, hey, like maybe when I go pick it up, if that'd be the case, just ask somebody and see if they know if that'd be the case. So at least have like the backstory of how it got to where it was when they found it down there. Because like I said, it's not like it's like an adjacent county. It's like several counties away. So it's not like it's like Summit County up above me or whatever the case be, or something to like the side or some shit like that or whatever. Like it's like down, 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 down type of county is what it is there. So it's like, yeah, like it was definitely driven someplace else is what it is then. But anyway, who knows? But either way, I still assume it had to do with the guy that was living adjacent from me at my mom's old place there, that was renting out some people's garage is what it was. Because when we look at the timeline of events there that happened, it was pretty fucking weird. Because from what I remember back in them days, and by the way, it's been just over 5 years to the day that they found this gun then. So it's been about 5 years and 2 weeks, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, but yeah, timeline of events that I can remember though, it was May 2021 when I was out back in my mom's place there shooting in the backyard range there. Turned around, there was two people, like two guys. I'm not sure, they were 40 yards or so away from me is what it was. saw them randomly like creeping by my mailbox, and I'm just looking at them like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why are you even here? Like, move the fuck on. Why are you randomly like trying to trespass on my property? Basically, is what it is there. Because it just seemed very strange for them to just be standing there like that, right by my mailbox is what it is. But anyway, and then yeah, it would have been, so that would have been May, like middle end of May, maybe, I think is what it was when that happened. And then it was June. I heard like a random sound outside that I should have gone and investigated with my shotgun, because I would have totally caught two guys in the act just to my mom's catalytic converter. Then is what it was. But I didn't think too much of it because it was like 2:30 in the morning then. So they stole that in June, and then it was, we had gone down to my aunt's place to hang out with family in July. Then I think, when I say it was July 13th is when that happened, and then came back to the back door being kicked in. And then it was sometime in early August of 2021 was when the house that was catty corner to us, the guy that was renting the garage, I think it's like a loft or something that they had there is what it was, or something like that. He got busted on drug possession stuff. And I even said to the deputies back then from Stark County Sheriff's Office, I was like, did you guys not talk to this man and look into this stuff? Because I'm pretty sure this guy probably had to do with it, honestly. Or at least some of his, dope fiend customers maybe did it, or whatever the case be. But they just never, investigated that, if that'd be the case then. So really, I think it was just lazy police work is what it was there. That it took this long to get it back then. I'm just happy it's going to be back in possession pretty soon is what it is, though. So, because I honestly never thought I'd see it again, to the point where literally like 2 months ago, I went and bought another one. If I had thought better, but I should have just got the AR pistol, then is what it was. But nope, I just bought a 15-22 that was on sale. So it is what it is. I mean, there's a difference, obviously, with this one between this one and the other one I got. The other one I got just came with a dot, is what it was then, versus the new one I got has it was mag pulse sights that it came with, and no red dot at all. So yeah, it is what it is. So I do want to show something kind of cool that I got the other day off of Amazon, which was one of the 250 coins they had on sale there. That was under $10. So this one's actually pretty sweet. So we got U.S. veteran and God We Trust on the one side, and then we got the other cool ass side that's got the 250 bell boots, etc. on there. So, and then it came in this nice little case. And I realized too that the coin holders I got in the other day, I'm pretty sure don't fit my big ass coin for my giant 1847 penny. So I'm gonna have to buy some different coin holders for those ones, and if that be the case. But either way, it is what it is. So I'm gonna check and see if my stuff has been delivered then or not right now. I don't think it has, but who knows? Nope, still says out for delivery. Jesus Christ, people, what the fuck? Like, again, like, this is why I don't understand why fucking Amazon does UPS for their shit. It should be there, people delivering it there, if that be the case, bro. It's like, at least if it was Amazon delivering it, I could be like, oh, hey, it's like 3 stops away from me, or whatever the case be. Not, hey, I have no idea when the fuck it's going to come. I just know it's going to be here in like 4 hours, is what the delivery window is right now. So, so fucking irritating. But anyway. But yeah, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I will see you all on the next one. Peace out. Stay safe. Stay vigilant. Always be caring. Always be situationally aware. Always be ready to go at a moment's notice, just in case. You never know what's going to happen. And really just always be prepared, man. Whether that be carrying a medical kit with you wherever you go, whether that be carrying extra magazines with you wherever you go, whether that be being really fucking diabolical and just taking a red IFAC kit that has a little first aid cross on it, maybe just putting a handgun and some mags in that, if that'd be the case. I would never do that, obviously. I did think that up the other day when I was thinking about some stuff. I was like, that'd be pretty fucking sick, actually, if somebody did that shit. Where it's like, oh, here's your medical kit, just a handgun and some mags. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody did pull it, honestly, but who knows? But no, mine would actually be filled with medical supplies, is what it is then. So, right now I got, when I do figure out how to put this thing together, it's going to be, we got some gauze rolls, we got some, the tape roll things, what it is there to keep shit in place. I'm going to put a couple of Israeli bandages in there. I got a couple chest seals coming right now. That should be here, I think it's tomorrow or Sunday maybe. And then I got a medical breathing mouth-to-mouth kit for either adults or infants. It has both masks in there. I'm not sure if that's actually going to fit in the main one or I'll put it in a bigger bag if that'd be the case maybe. And then there's a few other things I'm going to throw in there as well. Some various medication stuff, some glucose tablets. We got a cat tourniquet that I'm going to throw in there. And then I'm actually probably going to throw a couple different things in there. I got a cat tourniquet. I got a Slishman's tourniquet I'm going to throw in there as well. And just a few other things as well. Mostly it's basically just to have on hand in case I'm ever, in a situation where, God forbid, I go to Walmart and pick up some stuff, whatever the case be, and there's like a mass shooting there or something like that. And I can just yank out that bag and just start saving people's lives if that be the case then. So, now granted, I don't want it to come to that, obviously, but, or even in the same aspect of things, like God forbid I'm in a store or something like that and I have a situation where I get shot if that be the case, and then it's like somebody going and grabbing the bag to save my ass is what it is then. So, either way, it's good to have on hand, obviously. And obviously our friend Corey can tell you guys about why it's good to have a tourniquet on hand because of how he saved his wife's life with one when she got dog bit by the dog that they were fostering. I think it was about a year ago now or so. So, and that dog messed her up real bad, man. Took out a big old chunk of her leg is what it was. Right in the calf muscle is what it was there. So, yeah, it was a horrible day for him and his wife then. But thankfully she survived it, and they've yeah, I think I said his wife, but I think it was actually his, as he said, his old lady, because I don't think they were actually married. Because he told me something the other day about getting a ring for her finally, is what it was then, to marry her for real then. But yeah, so anyway, she survived it thankfully, and now they're gonna get officially married at some point. Here's what it is then. So anyway. But yeah, till later. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Stay safe, stay vigilant, all that good stuff. And message to UPS: get your shit together. If you're gonna give somebody a 4-hour window, actually deliver in that fucking 4-hour window, bro. Don't make the person wait like another several hours is what it is then for the stuff. But anyway, that is what it is. Peace out, y'all. Later.